personal issues, career. So we cover a lot of different information with our students. We try to get them informed as much as possible so that they can make good choices as far as like where they're gonna transfer to and the careers that they wanna go into. I personally work with EOPS, CARE, and CalWorks, and we have a set of group of students that we help throughout the year.
Can you tell what EOPS is?
EOPS is Extended Opportunity Programs and Services.
What actually is big extent?
Services. We offer additional services as far as to get them to be able to meet their goal, which could be transferring, graduating, getting a certificate. They come in and we can help them with giving them extra counseling services, extra tutoring services. We help them with the books that they have to purchase for their classes. So we try to offer services that, again, are gonna meet their goal and get them through and hopefully transfer out to a university. I also work with the CARE program, which is Cooperative Agencies Resource for Education. This is very similar to EOPS, and the difference with CARE is that our students that are in the program have to be receiving cash aid, and they have a child under the age of 18, and then we offer them assistance with their books, both semesters, and we also offer a grant that we give them both semesters as well. The last program that I work with is CalWorks. CalWorks. People who are receiving aid through Tulare Works, and we help them also with getting their books paid for, the counseling and workshops. The counseling component is very important because we keep our students on track as far as what classes they need to take, how long it's going to take them to graduate. They ask us also about transferring. We will give them information about the different universities that they can transfer to, the requirements that each university has, because every university is very different as far as requirements that they have for students who are transferring in. We are there also on personal issues. If a student is going through a crisis and they need someone to talk to, we're there for that as well. They can come in, everything is confidential, and we may not have all the answers for them, but sometimes they just need someone that they can talk to and get whatever issues they're going through out so that they can have some relief and be a little bit more calm and level-headed. There's different departments. As I mentioned, I work with EOPS, CARE, and CalWorks. But we also have an early alert counselor who targets students who are not passing their classes, are in jeopardy of their GPA falling below a 2.0. So that she comes in and she helps with giving them ideas and resources on how to help the student. We have a DRC counselor who helps with students who have physical learning disabilities. And so they sit down with their students and they help them out with setting up a plan that will help them get through school. We have our general counselors like Araceli, who see all students who come into the campus and also helps them with determining the classes that they need to take and the services that they may need. So all of this is available to our students. For EOPS, we actually have them come in 3 times a semester because we want to keep that contact going. Sometimes a student needs a little bit more assistance from a counselor than just one visit, than just to come in and the one time and get their ed plan, their education plan completed. They need additional appointments so that we can keep track of them, make sure that they are progressing in their classes, they're passing, or if they need additional services like tutoring, we can make referrals and have them go and sign up for a tutor. They also come in, as I mentioned earlier, for financial aid reasons as well. Sometimes they come in and they want to know, well, when are they supposed to complete the FAFSA? Well, this year that date has changed, and so we've been passing that information on to students. We are basically there to help them meet the goal that they have set for themselves. And we take that very seriously. If a student comes in and they're not quite sure where they are going, what they're doing, we'll sit with them and we will talk with them and try to figure out, okay, what are your interests? You know, what do you like to do? Where do you think you would like to transfer to? And we will sit there and we will talk with them and give them information so that they can get a clearer understanding of maybe what area they're gonna go into. Career-wise, I have another handout. We also talk to them about their career. Maybe they have an idea that they wanna go into the medical area, but they're not quite sure where. We'll start asking them, you know, where do you wanna work with children? Do you wanna work with teenagers? Do you wanna do physical therapy? Do you want to be a doctor? We try to narrow it down so that we as counselors can go ahead and set up a plan for them so that they can meet that goal, so that they can take classes that they need and hopefully nothing that they don't need, so that they can get out as soon as possible and get on to the next level of their journey. Yes.
If you get a response, if you actually ask the question, what you like to do, if you get a response such as, I like to play video games, then how do you direct this person toward a possibly valid career choice?
Well, maybe they like to be on the computer a lot, so maybe they want to be a programmer. So we'll direct them into that area, and so it's you know, we have students that come in that do give us that kind of response, and it's like, okay, so they like to play videos, let's see what kind of area we can go into, and it's usually computers.
In counseling students, when they don't know, often I ask them, what kind of job do you not want to have?
Exactly, yeah.
Because finding out what you don't want will lead you possibly to an area that maybe you do want. So sometimes with that student who said, I don't know. And that's worked for me with the kids.
And we do get a lot of students who come in and they're not sure exactly what they want to do. We'll kind of channel them or guide them into a more general major that doesn't really focus on one area, like business or nursing, that focuses just on nursing classes. And then we'll tell them to give them a little bit of more self-assurance and comfort. As you go along in your semesters that you're starting, if you find that you have a really good interest, a strong interest in, say, accounting, and you didn't know that and you discovered that, then come back and let us know, and we'll work with you to set up a new ed plan, an educational plan, with new classes for, say, a business degree. So we're always there to help them, especially when they're first starting out. You know, they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what major they want to go into. And yes, we ask them questions to find out what they do like and don't like. Sometimes I'll suggest, well, you know, do you like children, maybe child development, and they'll tell me, oh no, I can't stand children. So then it's like, okay, so no, stay away from education, maybe it's more of a business area. So it's a matter of just kind of, you know, asking the questions and drawing deductions to help them get into the right area. Because the last thing we want to do is give them classes that they don't need.
Do you have testing and implementation programs for people with learning handicaps?
We have the,
Qualified
yes,
learning handicaps?
we have the disability program on campus, and that's exactly what they do. They work with students who have learning disabilities, physical disabilities. If they have their testing already done through their doctor, their own doctor, they just bring the paperwork in and they get into the program. If they don't, then they'll go ahead and test them there to figure out, okay, what learning disabilities do they have? And then they'll make a plan that will help meet those learning disabilities. Maybe they need a note taker, or they may need extra time on their tests, and they need to be in a room by themselves where there's no noise. So they will figure that out, and they will do a plan that will meet those needs. Did I see a hand? No. The last form that I handed out, we're working really close with the JEC Center, the Jobs Entrepreneur Career Center,
Okay.
and
She figured it out.
we're working really close with them in that we have our students attend workshops that they're giving on careers, on resumes, on interview skills, job search. Not only do they work with the students there on campus, but they also work with the public, the general public. So it is open to everybody. You can go in there and you can get these services free of charge anytime that you need them. So we are referring students over there, especially our CalWorks students, because that's their end goal, is to get a job once they get their degree. To go over there and start working and brushing up on their interview skills, on getting a resume done and ready, on job search, and on careers as well. So it's a really good resource that we have out there for the community. If you ever want to come in and just look and see what's there, or you need to use the services, you're always welcome. Okay?
I understand you also have like placement, tests?
Yes.
To determine which level of English or
Yes.
math or.
We have an assessment test that we give our students. They come in, they are tested on the English, the math, the reading, and once we have the results, then we are told what level of English, what level of math they can go into, and that's where we start them, so that we don't place them in a lower math and it's too easy, or a higher math or English and it's too hard, and then they don't end up passing.
Is that for everyone or just certain students?
No, well, yeah, students who are gonna be going to the college. We sometimes also get students who are actually need to take an assessment test, but maybe they take their scores over to COS so that they can use it over there to place them in the right English and math as well. So they do use our tests as well.
This may be sort of beside the point, but do you actively support keeping up learning and improving their Spanish? Maybe not playing down the necessity for having some English, but to promote Spanish as a positive advantage. I know there are some businesses that will only hire bilingual people now. So do you make that point with the students, that it's something to be grateful for? And
We have students who come in. One of the areas that they have to complete is humanities. And Spanish is a class that they can take there. There's different levels. And they can take the Spanish and complete that area. And we encourage them because Spanish is important in.
I was thinking not to learn Spanish, but if they come in as competent in reading and writing and speaking, to let them look at that as a positive thing.
To retain their Spanish.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, yes.
Rather than feeling embarrassed, oh,
No.
well, you know.
No, if they,
Are gone.
The job skill.
yeah, no, we always tell them a second language is a plus. It's a big plus.
Absolutely.
Whether it's Spanish, American Sign Language, those are the two that we do offer there at the college. So if we find that they know Spanish already, yeah, they can still take Spanish as one of the requirements to even better their skills, because the better they are at the reading, writing, speaking the language, the more marketable they are when they're out there trying to get a job. So we definitely encourage them to keep that up, strengthen the skills, so that they can be able to compete.
And to feel good about it.
Oh yeah, because it is a definite benefit.
Do you work with mental health counselors in the community for students who have serious mental health needs?
I don't personally, but probably the disability program, their counselors, their ed advisors are the ones that would probably have that contact with them.
But they could come as a starter, they could
Mhm.
come to.
They could come in with us, and actually, when we do get students who come in, and we may notice that, they're struggling a little, maybe to verbalize something, or they're already a student there and they're struggling in their classes, they get really nervous when they're taking tests, and they blank out, that's a learning disability. And so, or they may come in and they're going through a crisis, but this is like been going on for a while, and they're very upset and they're anxious. We will refer them, or we will bring DRC in and have them work with them as well to try to resolve those issues. Yeah. We work really close with all the different departments. We not only have our monthly meetings where we talk about what we're doing, what's coming up, but we constantly on our own are popping into everybody's office, oh, hey, this and this is going on, or did you know that this changed? So we're constantly working with each other. I saw a hand over here.
Changed my mind.
Oh.
Good job.
Thank you.
I am here to present on the transfer information, and I gotta tell you, Virginia left at the right time. We are definitely in a time of change. There's a lot of things that are changing at the college. There's a whole move for student success. There's a lot of changes as far as providing the right support services. Students were not graduating in time, and we are a community college. So the programs that we offer are 2-year degree programs. They're supposed to be 2-year degree programs, right? Majority of students don't finish in 2 years. So there's been a whole revamp all the way around where you see it. Financial aid, student success, and all the areas, the programs, faculty. So everyone has been really involved. And as Elmer mentioned, since we are open entry, we allow access to pretty much anyone who would like to come and continue with their education. Reality is that if they're not where they need to be academically, then their chances of finishing in the 2 years is kind of diminished, or their chances of even finishing at all diminishes. So there's been a whole push for making a lot of the changes. All of our students who want to receive a degree or want to transfer to a 4-year college need to be here. English 101A. So the majority of our students were not being placed in English 101A. But there's been research and there's been studies that maybe more students should have been placed at higher levels. So we've been implementing that for this is going to be what, our 2nd year, Elmer? Yeah. So now we're using also a multiple measure with their transcripts. So in the past, we've always used their assessment placement, but now we're going to be using their transcript disjunctively with their assessment scores. So for students in the past, we have 3 levels below the transfer level or the AA degree level. If students came in at the level 83, which is the bottom level right here on this chart, it would take the student 3 semesters to get to the transfer level or the AA degree level, which was too long. And that's why they were not finishing in time. Now, if we just place them in 101A, maybe they wouldn't be successful either. So we have to make sure we provide the right support services. So the English faculty met, and they created this class called 73X. So in this class, the faculty designed it so that we could take any student at the lower levels and they combine the reading and the writing and put it together so that they could help the student move up to the next level to 101A in one semester, to get them to where they needed to be, to keep them on track. Because we know that the longer that it takes for a student to finish, the likelier that they may not finish. So we want to make sure we're providing them with all the things that they need. So the majority of our students who came in last year, this fall, that when we went out there, either placed in 101A or 73X. And already our transfer rates have really climbed up quite a bit. And they're gonna continue to climb because we're doing everything in our part to help them get there and trying to go out there. If you look on the back, you also see the math component. All students, if they want to transfer, they need to be at the staff level or trig level, minimum level requirement to transfer to a four-year school. If they're only wanting to complete an AA degree without transfer, then it's the Algebra 2. But when I've been going out to the high schools, because I'm the counselor that goes out to the high school, every time I ask the students, and I've been asking them, who would like to obtain a degree? A college degree, right? From Porterville College, and they're like, nobody hardly ever raises their hand. I say, who wants to transfer? Well, the majority of students want to transfer, right? So it is our goal to get them to where they want to go. So that is the reason for part of this reform, but that's not the only thing that has changed. We have also, now we're part of the Student Success and Support Program. So with this program, research has shown that students who complete these three main components, which is the orientation, assessment, and counseling with their educational plan, are more likely to complete. So now we've been doing outreach to all of our feeder high schools to help the students complete these three main components. So I've been going out there. We just finished doing the orientations for all the seniors who wanted to participate. They're not mandated to participate, so all of those who are either wanting to go to PC or all of those who are wanting to have a backup plan, because we know that sometimes students apply to transfer and they're actually admitted to the four-year school, but for some reason or another, they can't go. So those students will be ready to do this. So we just completed with the orientation. If you look on the back of this, Student Success and Support Plan, these are the dates that we're gonna be visiting all of the high schools. And in January and February, that's when we're gonna complete the assessment. The student will take a sentence skill assessment, a reading comprehension assessment, and mathematics assessment. If they score high on that algebra test, then they will go into the college level math, and then we'll use those scores along with their transcript to try to place them in the higher placement. So any student who obtains an overall GPA of 2.6 in high school will automatically be bumped up to English 101A. Now, it helps that we go out there because not necessarily all of our students, and we know that have a 2.6, are really ready for English 101A. We don't want them to fail either, right? And that's the reason why the 73X class is so popular, because those students that are kind of like on the edge or maybe quite not so ready for the 101A, they'll probably take the 73X so the next semester they gain the skills that they need to be successful in the next level. Now we know that to transfer, they need to have at least a 2.0. Elmer talked about that. Fresno State required a minimum of 2.3 last year for this entering class. And I just went to a conference yesterday, and that's for our local students. Obviously, transfer students from out of the area need a much higher GPA. They're talking about maybe raising it to a 2.5. And that was a real concern from counselors within the conference, because they're saying, well, if they're students from within our area and they're applying with a 2.0 and you deny them, where are they going to go? So then they said they kind of did some research. I guess it wouldn't affect that many students. To me, it affects a few. Still, I don't want it to affect someone that I know. So it's important that they're having those discussions. I mean, Bakersfield's another option, but students need to remain competitive. That's the bottom line. They have to stay competitive if they want to be able to have access, and especially if they want to have access to where they want to go, if they want to have options. So part of that is our responsibility to help them get there. So all students who come to the Porterville College need to have an educational goal declared, okay? And we know that sometimes students don't really know what they want to do, or they still have some questions. So Porterville College has purchased a new program which is called Navigate, and in that program, there's an entrance inventory that the students can take. So we'll ask them questions. It's just basically a career exploration tool for them to have, and something that they can discuss with their counselor at the high school, because they have access to it now. So any student who completes the application and has a student Porterville College ID number can access Navigate and start using it. So all of our seniors now that we met with them have access to that, and if they have questions about where do I want to go, what do I want to do, I'm hoping that it's something they've been talking about, but sometimes reality isn't that, or sometimes they just don't know. So that's another tool that they have. Another program that we have that Virginia is going to be happy to know is Degree Works. It's fully functional now. Yes! We're going to be doing our Ed plans online. We've been doing them now. We're in that transition process, so that way students can have their educational plan on there that they can view at any time. On Degree Works, it's basically a degree audit system. So that kind of helps the student also guide them in the process of what they need to do, because we have 3 different checklists that they need to follow. So community college can get really confusing because of all the requirements, different areas that they can go into. And because we're taking students from many different areas also, it even branches out even more, so it can be really, it can get hard. And that's the reason why we're there. So, and that effort to try to help students move them from the community college to transfer to the 4-year schools, there was a push from the state. Now, it didn't only come from us, right? But we are working on that, and that is the creation of the transfer degrees. So these degrees are a pathway to the 4-year system, the Cal State system. And with these degrees, now all degrees require 60 units, right? These transfer degrees also require 60 units, but there are added benefits to these degrees, okay? The benefits to these degrees is that when the student applies to the Cal State system, they are guaranteed admission, which is a nice thing. It is a nice thing, but I think there's still work to be done, because the admission is not to the Cal State of their choice, right? So sometimes if the student applies to a Cal State for various reasons, and they're not allowed, and they don't give them the admission, they give them another one, but it's too far away, then the student might not be able to go for economic reasons or for other reasons, personal reasons. So I know that last year a lot of students who were redirected did not attend, and it could be for some of those reasons. So last year, the students that were denied, for example, to transfer to Fresno, they were transferred over or redirected to San Francisco or Stanislaus. So, right? So you can see the problem there, right? So what's going to happen for next year, when students are applying now, they're going to have a drop box where they can check a university of the ones that are listed there that they would like to go in the case that they're redirected. So that way they can start thinking, well, you know what, San Francisco is not, but maybe I would be willing to go down south, whatever area, because I have family there, or whatever the case may be. So I think that's going to help with that process. The other benefit with the transfer degree is that when the student transfers to the 4-year system, the Cal State, it has to be a similar major. And as long as it's within a similar major, that Cal State cannot require more than 60 units at the 4-year school. So that means that if they're only taking 2 years here to finish, not only 2 more years at the 4-year school, and they can finish a bachelor's degree in 4 years, even when attending the community college.
What about sciences in here? I don't see any biology or anatomy.
And I don't know that we're gonna see them that soon, because those are programs that need to have certain requirements to move on to the next level. Those aren't classes that they can just omit. So I'm sure they're working on them. I don't know that there's any, do you know that there's any ASTs in biology?
Not right now.
No, because of the
So if
content.
someone
They'll
wants to
still
go
transfer.
on, they shouldn't go to PC.
No, they'll
No,
still transfer.
we still offer the other degrees. We still offer a degree in biological and physical science.
But they don't guarantee a transfer.
They don't guarantee it to be finished in 4 years. Because obviously, those are careers that may require more from the student.
What is, on the back of it, it's AA-T and AS-T.
So that's the difference. These degrees right here, so the AA and the AS are Associate in Arts, Associate in Science,
Oh,
and AAT and AST is Associate in Arts for transfer, Associate in Science for transfer. As far as the units, they all require the 60 units, but an AA and an AS does not offer the guarantee, the transfer guarantee, and does not offer the guarantee that once you transfer, you'll only have to complete 60 units.
Also, isn't it because those science degrees require approval by the CSUs that they're gonna be articulating that program with?
Well, they require all the approvals, but a lot of the classes, they can't just fit sometimes 60 units to satisfy the program. They wanna make sure that the students who are graduating have all the skills that are required to actually go and do the work out there, like engineering. You know, can we finish that in a certain amount? So there's a lot of discussion taking place now. Maybe there's areas, but it's not at this point. But these are some of the degrees. Now, these are not the only ones that offer the transfer guarantee. Other Cal states are offering others degrees.
Exactly.
So you can go onto this website right here, and that will provide you, because we can't provide them all. We're a small college too. But these are the ones that we're working on, the ones that we already have in place. Yes, Amar?
The difficulty between, for the ASTs to get a final approval is the fact that a lot of them have a lot of prereqs. In order to complete, to make it an AST, an effective AST, it has to stay within the 60 unit parameter. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you can't approve it, so.
And you need to have the skills, and if you need those skills to move on to the next level.
It used to be, in years past, that the college would accept high school students who wanted to take a college class while they're attending high school, and they could transfer that in, and sometimes the school would pay for it, and sometimes you had to pay for it. What, is that still being done?
You know what, I think a lot more is being done in that area. We are working on what we call dual enrollment. We are actually teaching some of those classes now at the high school. And they're obtaining college credit, and it keeps expanding. I'm not exactly sure where we're at right now, but we're working with all of our high
Not
schools.
necessarily, we have about 22 sections.
22 sections right now.
And then who pays when? If you're a junior or a senior, then you get it paid for, but if you're lower than that,
The
you have
students
to
don't
pay
pay.
yourself.
The students don't pay.
They don't pay at all?
They don't pay at all.
They're nice.
The students don't pay. And we're offering classes at the high school now, even to freshmen.
Okay.
So even freshmen to seniors are allowed to take these classes as long as they meet that prerequisite.
Okay.
Yes.
Actually, we're taking it further nowadays, because we're starting to offer pathways, where it's a combination of classes offered at the high school, and also